Excuse me. Sorry to intrude. Please, forgive the disruption, Lady Rhea, but I have that report you asked for.
Do not worry yourself, Alois. As it happens, I am presently unoccupied. Please, go on.
Ah, great. I'll just... Huh? What's that book you've got there?
It is a chronicle, covering the 995 years since Garreg Mach Monastery's completion.
Huh? Sounds like a good read.
Maintaining the Church's records is one of the duties entrusted to all archbishops, myself included. This one states that Saint Seros ordered the monastery's construction after the end of the War of Heroes. This is a rare and valuable text. Most documents of that era have been lost to time.
I see. Time aside, we also lost many books in that massive fire 21 years ago.
Indeed. What was once well documented exists now only in this chronicle, not least of which is the ceremony commemorating the monastery's completion.
Interesting. I'll admit, I know the year it took place, but not a thing beyond that.
That is to be expected, unfortunately. According to this chronicle, the rite of rising was held during the ceremony. The intent was to bring about the goddess's rebirth.
The Rite of Rising, huh? Can't say I've ever heard of that one.
I am not surprised. There should be countless records documenting that important ritual. Alas, today all we have to go on are fragments of forgotten memories and our own imaginations. One thing is clear. Their wish for the goddess's return was most fervent. Saint Seros held the ritual along with the 4 apostles, Noah, Chevalier, Timotheus, and Oban. However, it did not bear fruit, as the goddess did not return to this world. So it is written.
I've never heard of the 4 apostles before. They're different from the 4 saints, right?
That is correct. Today, almost no records exist of the 4 apostles. Their names live on only in the names of their crests. But the bloodlines bearing those tokens of the past have been lost. Any deeper knowledge of the apostles has all but disappeared from the grand stage of history.
Well, that's interesting. Does that mean they're somewhere backstage?
In a sense. It is possible that their bloodlines have carried on in secret, perhaps materializing where no one thought to look. I had not intended to indulge in such a long-winded lecture. Please, tell me your report, Alois. It concerns the underground, does it not?
Oh, right. It's as you suspected. Recently, there have been several incidents in the area beneath Garreg Mach.
Claude, are you certain that suspicious individual you spotted went through there? I will say, that does look a bit like a passageway, doesn't it?
Unless I dreamt it up while sleepwalking, there's no mistaking what I saw.
I never thought I'd say this, but I believe Claude's story. In fact, it reminds me of something. I have heard tales of countless passages snaking beneath Garreg Mach. This is undoubtedly one of them.
Perhaps so. In any case, there is no telling where it leads.
Oh no. Oh, you're right. There's no telling what we could find. Terrible danger, wicked creatures, unspeakable smells. The risk is too high, your highnesses. I must humbly insist that you wait here, where it's safe and smells nice. Meanwhile, Teach and I will track down the bandit-shaped person. If we don't return, do me a favor and call for the knights, will you?
That is quite enough. As though we would allow you to make that call on your own. With so little information, it's far too dangerous. We'll come along as well, right, Dimitri?
Yes, of course. If it was indeed a thief, we must not allow them to get away with their crime. Considering what took place at the goddess's rite of rebirth, vigilance is paramount.
Right, well, tag along if you insist. Just don't come crying to me if we all meet a terrible fate. Deal?
Likewise. Well, no use dallying. Let's be on our way. Unless there's someone else we should call for?
Teach is right. There isn't a moment to lose.
Whoa there! What's all this, Professor? You and the 3 house leaders creeping around at night? Pretty shady if you ask me.
It's certainly a rare and unexpected sighting, especially considering the hour.
Looks like a whole lot of something is about to happen. I'm going back to bed.
Stop right there, Lenhart. Your bad luck is our good fortune. You're coming with us.
You could stop thinking of ways out of this, Hilda. We could use your help, too.
You as well, Ash. I'll explain everything on the way.
Happy to help. We don't have anything better to do at this hour, so we may as well pitch in.
You have our gratitude. Now then, let us be on our way. Ready, Professor?
The more the merrier, I suppose. Let's just hope we're not all marching to our doom.
Yuri, this is brutal. Tell me again why you're subjecting me to this devastating boredom?
Enough with the yawning, Ballface. If you're really that bored, you could always make a friendly wager.
Thanks, but no thanks, pal. I'm low on funds as it is. Last thing I need is another debt I can't pay.
Right, B. As if you could say no to that. How diverting that you should bicker for my amusement. Imagine my overwhelming dread were I stuck here without such joyous entertainment. Count me out. I'll leave the talking to Yuri, Bird, and Coco.
Hey, boss.
Back already, huh? Have you detected any movement on the surface?
Well, I looked for the Cardinals meeting, just like you said. The thing is, I was spotted by some weirdos. They chased after me and everything.
Some weirdos, you say? So very helpful. They weren't knights, were they?
I don't know. There were only a few of them, but I bet they were armed to the teeth.
With meager numbers like that, I doubt they intend to take on Abyss.
They probably took you for some kind of villain. They'll lock you up if they catch you. Finally, a little action. Let's find them first and throw some punches.
Hold, Balthus. 'Tis ignorance itself to rush headfirst into trouble.
You're excited to fight too. You've been waiting for a chance to try out your shiny new magic.
Surface laws don't apply down here. That gives us the freedom to have some fun with them. They're probably not knights, but our new friends definitely work for the church.
You had best not leave me behind.
It seems this place is more than a simple passageway. There's clear evidence of human habitation.
People living under Garrick Mock? Oh, my brother used to tell me stories like that back in his academy days.
Ah, so Holst attended the academy as well, then?
Of course. Back then, there were tons of rumors about what goes on below Garrick Mock. Something about tons of passages and houses beneath the town, all inhabited by super shady people. It had a real intimidating name, too. What was it again? I think it was called Abyss?
That's 2 points for the pink-haired gal. Welcome to Abyss, strangers.
Identify yourself. That uniform.
Welcome, curious students of the Officers' Academy. What brings such fine, upstanding surface dwellers to our humble abode?
We're tracking someone who was creeping around the monastery.
Our business here does not concern you. Do you intend to let us pass?
Such indulgence simply cannot be permitted. Your words may fool the fool, but I cannot be so easily deceived. I, Constance von Nouvelle, shall divine your true intentions. You are here by order of the Church, which cruelly plots to eliminate the inhabitants of Abyss.
Did she say Nouvelle?
I don't care what the reason for this brawl is. A bite's on the menu, and I'm ready to feast. Let's get right to it, yeah?
By the look of them, I'd wager they're experienced combatants. I'm not certain this is a wise endeavor.
I was thinking the very same thing. Time to make a strategic retreat, then?
Turning back already? Oh, but you'll make me so sad. Now, why would you want to do that? Everyone here is starved for amusement. They've been waiting for a good fight.
Wow, look at that. A flawless example of a surprise attack. These aren't your run-of-the-mill thugs.
Claude, this isn't the time to be impressed by our enemy. We must find a way through at once.
Wait. Claude, is it? As in the brand new heir of House Regan?
Who, me? Nah, wrong guy. Claude's a common name in Fodlan. It's just too dashing for new moms to pass up. It's even a popular choice for fake names. Just a good, solid, all-purpose moniker, you know?
Right, except there's only one Claude enrolled at the academy this year. Looks like that's you.
How do you even know that?
Ah, you just gave yourself away, pal. Looks like my luck's finally taking a turn for the good. All right, so your choices are as follows. Line up for the beating of a lifetime, or let us lock you up like the good boys and girls you undoubtedly are.
I have no clue what this guy's going on about, but it looks like a fight's in order. And it's pretty much all my fault. There's a saying from the East about fighting a flicker with a flame. Seems applicable right about now.
Finally, let's do this already. Prepare to face the almighty King of Grappling.
Why can't I shake the feeling that I know that wild man?
I don't believe it. Little Hilda herself. Why didn't you speak up sooner?
Balti, this isn't the time to catch up. What would Holst think? I bet you didn't consider that, did you?
Eesh. I don't know, but it wouldn't be nice. Look, sorry, okay? Just don't tell Holst. If he knew I raised a hand against you, he'd have my head.
Ha! Like he'd stop at your head. Fine, though. Just this once, and just for you, I'll keep quiet.
Now that that's sorted, what did you mean about it being lucky that you found me?
Oh, that. One of the guys I owe gold to is Count Gloucester. He said something about forgiving my debt if I could dig up some dirt on you. Figured this was my shot.
Aha, so it was purely selfish. But then was a fight really necessary?
Really was. Best way to acquaint yourself with someone is to get into a tussle with them. That's common sense right there.
That's the correct response for a reasonable person. We're not all as far gone as Both is here.
Say what you will, but I learned all I need to know. It's clear this lot has nothing to do with the church's intentions. But that means those other creeps could always attack us at any moment. Someone's targeting Abyss. Mercenaries keep sniffing around and causing trouble here. They won't let up.
It's a real problem, and we have no clue who's pulling the strings. There are many within the church who would love to see this filthy underground city purged. When you first showed up, we thought you were here to do just that. Apologies for the confusion.
So that's why you came at us with that nasty Kill the Outsiders act.
As Yuri Bird said, we're sorry. We're all pretty on edge these days.
Indeed. That someone would descend to Abyss out of pure curiosity was far too outlandish to consider.
No idea. These tunnels have been around for ages. They could be older than the monastery for all we know.
None remain who know the complete truth. However, I shall tell you all that we know for certain. Abyss is home to those who shun the light of day. It is the secret shadow of Garrick Mach, if you will.
The church quietly tolerates us. They think they need a place like this for Garrick Mach to thrive.
The deal is simple. Abyssians never get involved with the surface, and the surface never gets involved with us.
Alas, for some foul reason, surface dwellers have been after us of late. Further oppressing those souls who can only find solace beneath the ground? I cannot abide it. Though it pains me to admit, we too harbor valid reasons for not venturing into the light. That is why, by the grace of our esteemed patron, we have been granted sanctuary here in Abyss.
I see. Balti, does that mean you've got a reason for being here too?
Afraid so, Hilda. I'm here because there are more bounties on my head than there is hair. Needed to lay low. Real low.
But, Balti, that's awful.
Enough with the niceties. Let's get these surface dwellers out of here.
Nonsense! Intolerable nonsense! Why ever would we let slip this chance to acquire their aid?
Like we said, recently this place is being targeted by mercenaries. Myself excluded, a lot of the folks who live here can't defend themselves. They're here to avoid conflict. The elderly, the infirm, orphans, lost souls, merchants who were chewed up and spit out by the nobility. Works.
It rests upon us to protect those who cannot protect themselves, and to safeguard our home. To that noble end, I must insist that you lend us your strength.
I feel for your cause, truly. However, I cannot help but wonder why you would trust us so readily. We are from the surface, after all.
Trust is a choice. We're choosing to trust you. For now. It's clear you're not here by command of the church. And you're not just a bunch of noble twerps either. You can hold your own. It's in the way you fight, how you carry yourselves. Still, I'm reluctant to get you involved with this madness. It's our problem, not yours.
It's too late now. We already told them everything. Let's at least give them a chance to decide for themselves.
Most true. Wander about Abyss for a time, and I am certain you will come to the only correct conclusion.
Right, what she said. Take a look, think some thoughts. Consider yourselves our special guests.
We're all done here, boss. Oh, but more importantly, about your...
We'll discuss that another time. For now, tend to your mission. Don't worry, no one will die. We'll get everyone out safely. Once the trap is set, shift your focus to protecting the Abyssians, just in case things go south. Oh, it's you. I was just heading off to ambush our attackers. You'll help with that, won't you?
Oh, does that mean your enemies are drawing near?
Very good. The scouts I sent to the surface spotted some mercenaries. We closed off the entrance they used last, but it seems they've already found another.
This is bad. We've got to evacuate everyone from Abyss as quickly as possible.
That won't be necessary. They'll be back soon.
Huh? Who?
Why do I have to go? No matter what we do, we're all just gonna die in the end anyway.
Sure, but if we do nothing, we'll die a lot sooner. I assume the corridor is successfully camouflaged?
But of course, our decoy shall prevent those scoundrels from chancing upon our living quarters. Do note that I am the bait upon your hook. If we fail, I shall be left dangling in the wind. But it must be done, I fear. And so, I will most happily accept the starring role in this.
They're at the entrance. They'll be coming in from the east.
The east. Good. We're well placed. Go ahead and draw them deeper into Abyss, just like we planned. Launching small counterattacks on the surface won't accomplish anything. It could also earn us the scorn of the church, if it gets messy. Which it will. That's why we have to lure the enemy underground before we take them out. I know the perfect spot.
Admit it, pals. You're knee-deep in this, just like us. There's no turning back now, right?
Of course not. If there's any way we can help your cause, we won't turn our backs on you.
That's right. We will not stand idly by while danger befalls the innocent people of Abyss.
If we can capture the enemy, we can perhaps learn the reason behind their relentless attacks.
Excited, are you? Fine. We could use more bodies to throw at our enemies. Thanks for volunteering.
So long as they're fighting with us and not against us, I don't care how excited they are. Let's get to it! Wow, an underground arena, huh? You sure know some great spots, Yuri.
I heard about this place from someone back in town. It hasn't been in use for a long time. I figured it could prove useful. So I spent some time clearing out the debris that was blocking the entrance.
It seems to be a revitalized ruin. Perhaps it was originally a reception hall or something similar.
Perhaps. Honestly, all of Abyss feels like a ruin.
This place is magnificent! It is just spacious enough to contain my glory! I shall not hold back here!
Large, isolated. I wonder if it would be okay for me to sigh here.
If Happy sighs, monsters come running. No, I'm not kidding.
I'm not sure what you could possibly mean by that.
I wish, Happy, but no. Absolutely no sighing. And Constance, be glorious in moderation. Understood? This place is so big that if it collapses, all of Abyss will fall with it. The whole reason we're luring our enemies here is to avoid damaging Abyss. Don't lose sight of that.
I am well aware of our aim.
Sure, but that doesn't mean we can trust you to show restraint.
You as well? I cannot fathom why I am being treated in such a way. It is the duty of the nobility to preserve the people's safety. Do you truly believe that I would destroy Abyss in my efforts to save it? Preposterous.
That would cause trouble for Elfie too. If the underground collapses, he's the one who will have to answer for it.
You must know Alfric, yeah? He's a bigwig in the church, but a friend of Abyss. He's the one who opened up this place to folks with nowhere else to turn. Folks like us. He gave us a home, a new life.
It is Ulfric himself who put forth the idea of establishing the Ashen Wolf House. Sadly, he faces opposition within the church, and so he cannot openly deploy the knights to aid us.
That means Alfric relies upon us to protect the people who live here. Us, and now you. I hope you're ready, Professor. We're counting on you.
You are a professor at the Officers Academy, are you not? You may not be our instructor, but I cannot think of a more fitting title to call you.
Seems like you're with us now. We'll owe you one.
Time to knock some sense into their thick skulls. They picked the wrong strangers to mess with.
Ulfric, how serendipitous that you have come to our aid.
I am relieved that I wasn't too late. I do hope my presence proved useful.
No doubt about it. We needed the backup.
Professor, I do believe this is the first time our paths have crossed, is it not? Of course, I have heard all about you from Her Grace, the Archbishop. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Elfric. The Church has granted me custodianship of Abyss. The pleasure is all mine. I am sure you have already been told about Abyss's unique situation. For varying reasons, all of the inhabitants here are unable to live a peaceful life on the surface. People like the Dagdans and Almirans, who suffer undue persecution across Fodlan. The poor and the sick, who are forced into Abyss. Not to mention all the other unfortunate souls who ended up here. I believe it is my sacred duty to provide a place for those who have nowhere else to go.
Right. And the poor and sick living in a sunless crypt helps them... how?
Enough, Claude. Please, forgive my friend, Elfric. We would love to hear more.
In all honesty, I understand his concern. I dearly wish I could provide a better life for my flock. But it would appear that Her Grace and most of the Church consider the existence of Abyss to be something of a nuisance. I'm afraid so. Those within the Church who would see Abyss purged are swiftly growing in number.
That's the Church for you. They make a big deal out of helping the helpless, when it suits them.
We can't just sit back and accept the way things are. We've got to fight the system. Sure, I'm here to hide from literally countless bounty hunters, but I'm not the only one in need. You're in a bad way too, Happy. We can't just let the Church walk all over us.
Too true. For the sake of all who dwell in Abyss, we must help dear Elfric to turn the tide.
I am overwhelmed with gratitude. Your fervent support is all the reward I could ask for. As for you, Professor, I must beg a favor of you. The Ashen Wolves are a house in name alone. They are eager students with no teacher to guide them. If you could find it in your heart to take them under your wing, I would be most grateful. Naturally, your official duties take precedence, so you need only help out when your schedule allows.
Wait a minute, Elfric. Where's this nonsense coming from?
I second that question. We have no need of a professor when we have you.
Dear flock, I am a mere guardian. I can protect you, but I cannot enrich your minds. Though I call this gathering an academy house, I have long lamented that it isn't truly so. Now, I am blessed with the opportunity to correct this. The professor who stands before you has garnered a great deal of acclaim on the surface. A most trustworthy and esteemed teacher, to say the least. What's more, I happen to be acquainted with the father of this fine individual. I was born and raised in Garreg Mach, so I often had the opportunity to spend time with him. Your mother as well. She was a cherished friend of mine. I was even present for their wedding. With parents like yours, I have no doubt that you possess the kindness and patience necessary to guide these students.
But...
It'll be fine. It's not like we're strangers anymore. Say, Elfric, don't you need to take care of those thieves?
Ah, right you are. Please, excuse me. Oh, and one more thing, Professor. If ever you would like to hear more about your parents, I would be delighted to share my memories with you. Ah, Professor, to what do I owe this pleasure? Ah, yes, of course you do. I will gladly tell you all that I know. Where to begin? If you have something particular in mind, please ask and I shall answer as best I can. Kind and wise. I would often see her in the library, her nose always buried in a book. Gerald was very much then as he is now. His knights would have done just about anything for him. Whenever he had time to spare, he would instruct the children of the monastery in combat and tactics. Just like those wide-eyed youngsters, your mother and I made a hero of him in our minds. When I learned that Gerald and Citri were to be married, I was quite surprised. Back then, Gerald was something of a mentor to me. As for Citri, she found it difficult to express her emotions. It was only when she was gazing at Gerald that I ever saw her smile. A smile that rivaled the very sun. His tales of the outside world must have seemed like a lifeline for one as frail and guarded as she. Indeed, she lacked the strength to travel beyond the monastery. The only souls she ever spoke with were a select few within the monastery walls. I can picture it now. The stories he told her, his striking words, and his boisterous laugh. Listening to him must have given her a great deal of hope. As for me, I could never have become like Gerald, as much as I wished for it. I suppose I did. He would tell stories from a century ago as though he had lived them himself. No matter how fervently one studies the stories of old, that is no easy task. Professor, you traveled with Gerald before coming here. You must have seen a great many things, yes? Forgive me for overstepping, but do you not regret foregoing your travels to take up residence here? I see. Well, so long as you are satisfied, it is not my place to question your decision. To shape young minds must afford you a unique perspective on the world. I am certain my unsolicited advice is nothing but a nuisance, but please, hear me out. It is my hope that you will live a full life, experiencing the world, fostering strong relationships with people. Do so for dear Citri, whose wish to experience such things shall regretfully never be granted. I cannot deny it. It is my own stubborn notion, one that Her Grace will likely not think kindly of. Beyond my personal motive, I believe that you alone can guide my flock to even greater heights. and perhaps you will learn from them as well. But I have taken enough of your precious time. Know that I am here for you, always.
Pray tell, Yuri, did those foul bandits whom we bested at the arena confess to anything?
Not a word. And they wouldn't name names. I got the feeling they didn't know much themselves. However, one thing is clear. Whoever hired them is after something here in Abyss.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. They must have been on a treasure hunt or something.
A treasure hunt here? I don't get it. What is there to find in these dingy tunnels?
Elfric, was it? Looks like this is ringing a bell for you.
Well, something does come to mind, but the notion is preposterous at best.
Never discount a wild hunch. Sometimes they're closer to the truth than you'd think.
Any lead will do, so long as it helps determine our next course of action. Please, go on.
As you wish, though again, it is quite far-fetched. You see, there is a long-standing legend here. It is said that deep underground, below even Abyss, is a place called the Chasm of the Bound, wherein lies the Chalice of Beginnings.
I've never heard of it, but chances are it's some kind of sacred artifact belonging to the church.
I once happened upon an old document that mentioned a ritual called the Rite of Rising. The text was incomplete, so I was unable to achieve a full understanding of the topic. I cannot even guarantee the authenticity of what I read. But it stated that the Chalice of Beginnings is a sacred object, crafted by order of Saint Seros herself. Saint Seros apparently used the artifact to carry out the Rite of Rising, along with the 4 apostles. It is a ritual that is believed to have the power to resurrect a life that was lost. However, the ritual failed. The 4 apostles bound the chalice, so that it would never fall into a mortal's hands.
The Rite of Rising, huh?
Ah, yes! The Chalice of Legend! My father mentioned it to me a very long time ago. A secret treasure of the church. A chalice, powerful enough to resurrect the dead! Exhilarating, no?
Quite. It is no small wonder that people are after it.
Even so, we still don't have much to go on. We must gather more information about this legend at once.
I wholeheartedly agree. I will do all I can to track down more clues within the monastery. Although Garrick Mach's library is so well curated, I doubt any further records will be found.
Wondrous! We shall do all that we can as well.
The answer is no. I will not allow it. It is far too dangerous.
Ah, but if we can determine its origin, we may eliminate the very danger that vexes you.
You already know this, but there are plenty of folks down here who can't defend themselves. If these attacks keep up, eventually they'll find themselves in harm's way.
Yes, I am aware. However, for the time being, you must promise to refrain from acting recklessly. My dear Fluck has suffered enough as it is. You needn't take any further risks.
Surprisingly overbearing, isn't he? He must really care about you guys.
Most certainly. Yet, if we fail to nip this problem in the bud, I shudder to think what will transpire. Aha! It's you! In the nick of time, as it were. Come, let us venture into the deep, deep underground. The Chalice of Legend awaits! But of course, deeper and deeper still beneath the monastery, to the Chasm of the Bound.
Coco, you didn't hear a word Elfie said, did you?
I surely did, but we must read between the lines. Elfric wants a solution as badly as we do. And so, we shall seek out the Chalice of Beginnings and present it to the church. If our enemies desire the object, this should halt all future attacks on Abyss. Brilliant, no?
I'm not so sure about that. According to legend, there's some kind of binding that protects it from would-be thieves. Even if we find it, we can't just walk up and take it unless we figure out how to break that thing.
Ah, but that is simplicity itself. We shall first ascertain whether it is still bound, and then we shall release it.
But where is this chasm anyway? I've never even heard of the place, much less seen it.
As luck would have it, I have discovered yet another secret passage. It appears to go deep underground. According to my superior instincts, it undoubtedly leads to the Chasm of the Bound.
Huh. I suppose it's worth a look. I don't care about finding some old cup, but if it could help us protect this, I'll support the cause.
You surface dwellers do not have anything else to do at present, do you? You'll assist us, will you not?
Come on, Teach. We got plenty of time to follow them down that deep, dark tunnel. Admit it. Personally, I'm dying to find out more about this chasm and chalice business.
Splendid! It is decided. We leave at once.
Feeling pretty lost right now. How long have we been walking? I'm guessing a full week.
A week? Ridiculous. It's been a few hours at most.
Exaggerations aside, if this takes much longer, I'm concerned about our lack of food and water.
She's got a point. How about we trek a bit farther, and if we don't find anything, we turn back?
Constance, I find it rather curious how quickly you became fixated on the chalice. Care to explain?
Oh, No. Why would I be fixated on a silly little legend for some supposed ulterior motive?
You want the esteem. You think this will convince the church to help you restore your fallen house.
How could you possibly know that? Have you been snooping within the confines of my very mind?
I shall restore House Nouvelle to its former glory at all costs.
It's practically your catchphrase.
Aha! Just as I suspected. Constance is the former lady of House Nouvelle. Until just a few years ago, it was a house of Viscounts in the west of the Empire. They had a long and distinguished history.
House Nouvelle lost its status 5 years ago as a result of their part in the war.
Huh. You speak as though it has nothing to do with you.
I fear all I can do is ask forgiveness in place of my useless father. If doing so will comfort you in any way, then please accept my...
Save your breath. That will not be necessary. There is only one thing that I desire. For the sake of my parents, who fell courageously and selflessly in defense of the Empire. For them, I shall restore our status, revive House Nouvelle, and return it to its former glory. All that I do, even spending each day advancing my magical prowess, is to that end.
And in reward for all that hard work, you were forced to live underground. Life's cruel. It's like you took a shortcut back to the starting line. Or maybe you're just unlucky.
What are you saying? I never intended to share that side of me with you.
Look at that. It's a good thing we didn't turn back. That looks mighty chasm-like if you ask me.
Say, are we beneath the bridge in the monastery? Incredible.
Huh. I never thought I'd be gazing up at that bridge we've crossed 1,000 times from way, way down below.
Are we sure this is the right place?
It is, I think. I believe. I hope.
Constance, why are you hiding in the shade? Aren't you the one who insisted that we find the chalice?
Fine. If you insist that I join you, then I shall. Satisfied? Oh my. I was quite rude just now. Please accept my humble apologies for treating you so foully. I presume too much to stand beside such noble paragons. Allow me to dig a hole to bury myself in.
No matter how deep underground we are, I guess sunlight is still sunlight. Poor Constance.
This is what Coco's like in the sun. That's why she lives underground.
I fear I cannot guarantee that this is the Chasm of the Bound, I have almost surely wasted our time.
Enough with the self-doubt, yeah? Just put one foot in front of the other. We'll have you back in the shadows before you know it.
Cheer up, Coco. We need you.
And now I have forced you into a state of pity. I feel so very worthless.
I admit, I have never seen anything quite like this before. Is there nothing we can do to help?
Happy? Keep Constance moving. If we don't start searching, we'll never find that damn chalice.
Fine, I'll just push her a bit, I guess.
I must ask you to cease. You shall soil your hands upon my filthy back. No soap could possibly... Huh? This feeling. I sense magic in the air. There is something just ahead. The binding spell, perhaps.
I don't feel anything at all. Wait. Actually, I hear something. Something big. And it's moving.
Perhaps there is something in place that is guarding the chalice.
Yikes. What is that thing? It's like some kind of gigantic toy.
I don't have the slightest idea what's going on, but I know it doesn't bode well.
I don't know, could be fun. It's been a while since I've met an enemy that can put up a good fight. Hey you! Meet your master, pal. I'm gonna pummel you into my own personal shield.
Look! There's something in that opening.
Oh, can it be?
Is that?
You would know best. It is beyond my ken whether that is the chalice. Curse my ignorance.
Answer the question, will ya? Is it or isn't it?
That quaking earlier. Some kind of containment magic related to the crests was in place here. Whether intentionally or not, the chalice was released. I hesitate to suggest that those things were the cause. Oh, perhaps one of our crests was the key to unbinding the chalice.
Care to summarize that?
My apologies. I have caused you undue vexation by speaking so incomprehensibly. Were I to venture a tentative guess, I would say that this is indeed the Chalice of Beginnings.
You could have just said, this is it, all right.
Forgotten crests resembling those of the four apostles, depicted on a sealed rock wall. Objects that resemble holy armaments, and a chalice that gathers magic all on its own. I don't know of any other legends that cover all of that, so this must be the chalice we're looking for.
1,000 thank yous for covering my own inadequacy with such a competent explanation.
I'm still not used to hearing you speak in such a manner.
Forgive me, Your Highness. If I have displeased you, please take my life as a small gesture of atonement.
Oh, your highest of highnesses, I doth humbly beg of thee to find forgiveness within your royal heart.
Stop fooling around, Claude. And Constance, I assure you there is nothing to forgive.
I hear thunder. Rain is soon to follow.
We'd better head back to Abyss before the storm hits us.
It happened yet again. Why must my good intentions always... Huh? What was that sound? It cannot be. My poor abused legs. I have been remiss to neglect my lower body exercise as of late.
Don't give up. We're almost back to Abyss. What a damn mess we've gotten ourselves into.
We should give up. Just throw the chalice at the big one and be done with it. It doesn't seem like they're gonna ease off. If that doesn't work, I guess we're dead.
I think not. I shall never surrender. I shall not die until I have achieved my glorious aim.
You're crying out loud. Those creepy toy things must love a good chase. They won't let up.
Not to mention the enemies that look like phantoms. For their measures to protect the chalice, I'm sure. Maybe Happy's right. And this won't stop so long as we have the artifact.
We can't lead them back to Abyss, or the people there will be in danger.
Good call. Are you okay with that, Yuri Bird?
Of course not. Let's keep running just a bit longer. I know a good place to keep the enemy at bay.
Oh yeah, the gates! They're so damn sturdy, I nearly broke my priceless fist on one once.
You punched one? Like a brute? Ugh, why must you always behave in such an infantile manner?
He probably thought that was the best way to test its sturdiness. He doesn't have bad intentions, he's just that dumb.
Ballface, if you broke the mechanism, I'm sacrificing you to the creepy doll. Well, that was awful. I'm never going back down there, that's for damn sure.
With things like that wandering around, you couldn't even if you wanted to.
Aren't you optimistic? There were a few times I was sure we were done for.
Has Elfric yet returned? We must present the chalice to the church at once.
You're all safe! How could you sneak off at a time like this?
Some strangers from the outside have kidnapped Master Elfric!
Elfric? No, it cannot be true!
It happened as soon as he returned from the monastery. Bandits were lying in wait.
Damn it! How could this happen?
This was clearly premeditated. I am certain it is connected to the bandits we fended off earlier.
Have you alerted the church?
Not yet. It all happened so suddenly. Do you think we should? Can we trust them? If we cause too much trouble, Abyss is doomed.
Now isn't the time to worry about that. We're in no position to cover something like this up. The church has eyes and ears everywhere, so they may already know what's going on. Either way, go and tell them the news. Now.
Sure thing. Understood.
Also, if anyone was wounded, send them here. We'll patch them up with healing magic. Wait, where's Happy? And Linhart?
Happy, wherever did you disappear to? Elfric has been...
I know. Take a look at this.
What's that? Looks like some kind of fancy letter.
That's because it is. It was lying in the classroom. We have abducted Cardinal Elfric. We can guarantee his safety, for now. If you want to help him, meet us tomorrow evening in the ruins of the old chapel. Bring the chalice. Know that if you alert the knights, the Cardinal's life will be forfeit.
No doubt about it. This letter must have been left by the people who abducted Elfric.
Then our enemy really is after the chalice. All the while, they were waiting for us to locate it for them. No, no! Something about this does not ring true.
None of it rings true. So which part in particular are you talking about?
How did the enemy know that we were searching for the chalice to begin with? This can only mean that someone in Abyss is...
You smell a rat. Someone who notified the church of our plan. It's no good talking about theoretical rats right now. First, we have to deal with the problem at hand.
Too true. For once, you are speaking reasonably.
We really lucked out there. Fewer injuries than I would have expected, and most were minor.
I suppose the only conclusion we can draw is that they really were after Elfric all this time.
Perhaps they were instructed to avoid unnecessary casualties.
Is that Elfric guy really a cardinal? Are the secret cardinals really a thing? I thought that was a myth.
Hard to believe. Did you folks in the Ashen Wolves know that?
No, that's news to me. The identity of the Cardinals is top secret, even within the church. He never would have told us something like that. Oh, except maybe Yuri.
He and I talk about a lot of things. But right now, I'd say we have more important topics to discuss than his title. Elfric's been kidnapped. What are we going to do about it?
Even if it is in the name of rescuing him, we simply cannot hand over the chalice to those scoundrels.
Let's just give them the thing and be done with it.
Professor, I came as fast as I could when I heard the report. I had no idea you'd be here.
Is this loud, excitable knight a friend of yours?
Precisely so. I'm Alois, right-hand man to the former captain of the Knights of Saros, Geralt.
Oh my. That means our professor here is the child of a captain.
Now, about Elfric's kidnapping. Since he's an important member of the church, we must use any means necessary to find him. That said, most of the Holy Knights have been deployed to deal with the Western Church.
Sure, but any knights are better than no knights, yeah?
I like your attitude, though I'm still embarrassed that we're not in full force. But hey, at least we're quite forceful.
Here, take this letter. We believe it was left by whoever kidnapped the Cardinal. In it, the enemy clearly spells out their plan. They're after a chalice that was hidden beneath Abyss.
A chalice, Chalice? Ah, do you mean the chalice? But no, why would it be there? I've never heard anything about it being stowed away in Abyss.
Then this is gonna come as a shock, pal.
What in the goddess's name? Is that really the chalice from the legends?
The probability of that is unassailably high, yes.
It was guarded by a bunch of giant creepy toys. There was powerful magic protecting it and everything.
If you say so. Wow. That means the story about the chalice being bound was true. Well, what's done is done. Oh, but I guess it's not done just yet. I must report this to Lady Rhea at once.
So that is what transpired. This is indeed the Chalice of Beginnings. It matches the descriptions in the few records of it that remain.
Don't beat around the bush. What's our punishment?
You removed a most sacred treasure. Truly, it is my obligation to mete out punishment for that transgression. However, you also helped the church locate a valuable artifact. In light of this good deed, I shall forgive the bad one. I do wonder... I am wondering whether your presence had anything to do with the artifact's unbinding, Professor. As per the Church Chronicles, the four apostles secured the chalice with powerful magic. The only way to release the chalice is by using the four crests passed down through their bloodlines. However, given the special power you possess, perhaps you were able to unlock it yourself. There is no knowing at present. For the time being, I will keep the chalice somewhere safe. As for Elfric, I assure you that the knights will find and return him in due time. I consider him to be one of my many children, after all. I will not allow harm to befall him.
Lady Rhea, might I ask a moment of your time? We cannot be expected to give up our endeavor. The enemy stated most clearly that if the knights are involved, our dear Elfric is finished. We owe him so much. If there is any possibility that his life is in danger, the risk is too great to chance.
True. The knights are strong and all, but they're liable to get him killed. We can take care of it, with Chatterbox's help.
Our professor has the strength of 100 knights, or about 1.5 of me. We've got this. How about it, Rhea? We've been through too damned much to get here. Leave the chalice and Elfric to us. You won't regret it.
Lady Rhea, please.
If you join your power with theirs, yes, perhaps there is hope. As you wish, I shall entrust you with the chalice.
Your Grace, the chalice is a legendary treasure. You can't just hand it over to those underground...
That is quite enough. There is no cause to worry, I assure you. There will be no further discussion on the matter. Even if we lost hold of the chalice, it would be impossible for the thieves to make use of it. Though it was created to return a life that was lost, I doubt that anyone alive knows how to accomplish that feat. If someone were to successfully replicate the ritual, it would perhaps be the work of fate.
Hey, boss. Been meaning to ask. How'd you end up down here in Abyss?
What is this? Some sort of interrogation?
Yeah, you've never been big on sharing. I mean, you know all about me, and there's still so much I don't know about you.
Look, I get it. Talking about the past isn't easy. But I'm curious, yeah? So get to it. I've got all day.
Do you now? Well, I guess now's as good a time as any to tell you. I'm here because I killed some people from the church.
That cannot be!
Originally, I attended the academy as Count Ro's adopted kid. There came a point when the church ordered me to wipe out some members from my old gang. Told me it was part of some important mission.
Who is this old gang you speak of?
They were nothing more than common thieves to someone like you, Constance. Anyway, they're like family to me. So naturally, I protested my orders. Things got pretty heated, and, well, the rest is history.
That's some story, pal. You're damn lucky they didn't execute you.
You're telling me. Elfric stepped in and implored them to spare my life. Told them to consider the circumstances. It's not so different for the rest of you. I'm sure he helped all of us out in different ways.
He did. I was about to be thrown in the monastery's underground jail. People thought I was dangerous, what with my gift and all. It's dark and dingy here, but it sure beats a prison cell. Elfie really saved my neck.
Back to the point. Balthus, what was it you were so curious about? You had ideas regarding why our enemies may be clawing after the chalice, perhaps?
No, nothing like that. But I am hung up on something Rhea said. That binding on the chalice was linked to the four apostles, yeah? I know I've got Chevalier's.
Sorry, but mind if I cut in?
What is it? Can't you see we're busy?
I can, but I just remembered something. Something important. Specifically, the names of the apostles. Oban, Chevalier, Noah, and Timotheus. The four apostles whose bloodlines were lost to time. I figured the Ashen Wolves might have thoughts about all that.
No use hiding it now, Constance. Let's lay all of our cards on the table. As for me, I've got the Major Crest of Chevalier. When I enrolled at the academy, the church ordered me to keep that tidbit to myself. So I did.
Mm-hmm. And I've got the Major Crest of Oban. Never did sort out how it is I have this thing.
As for me, the blood of Saint Noah courses through my veins. This is kept hidden, even from the Empire.
Which probably means mine's from Timotheus. I do have a vague recollection of being told my crest is rare.
So the four crests, which were presumed lost, have all been gathered into the same house.
All thanks to our buddy Elfric, it would seem.
And now Elfric has been abducted. Why could that be? If it was the chalice they were after, they could have stolen it from us without the need for anything sly.
Maybe someone had it out for him. Or maybe he messed around with the wrong people.
Or it could just be unrelated entirely. We're trying to untangle this mess by tying more knots into it. I mean, Balthus, you landed here on accident, didn't you? It's not like that's linked to the rest of us. And I could just as easily have never ended up down here, you know? You're jumping at shadows. Anyway, we don't have time for this. Let's get our act together and head to the chapel ruins. Hey, friend. Let's not deny that there's a connection between us. How about you and me have ourselves a little date, huh? When the bell strikes midnight, meet me out front of the Holy Mausoleum. My only condition is that you arrive promptly after midnight, and not a moment before. What say you? It's the most romantic time of the evening, of course. Or is the idea of a date with me not appealing to you? Nobles have nearly killed one another fighting for my affections, you know. Perhaps you won't get all you want out of me. But I'll promise you a fun time regardless. It's settled. I'll see you tomorrow night, friend. Don't stand me up.
Your Grace, please reconsider. The chalice is among the church's greatest treasures, akin to even the hero's relics.
I am well aware, which is why I have already dealt with the matter. Consider this. The hero's relics are fearsome weapons imbued with great power. On the contrary, the chalice has long lost the power it once possessed. It is little more than a token of history.
If that is so, then why is it still considered such an important artifact?
It was created for a sacred purpose. To use the blood of the four apostles to return the goddess to our world. Their blood.
Your Grace, is something the matter?
I have an urgent mission for you. Investigate the origins of the Ashen Wolves. Start with their enrollment forms for the Academy. Keep an eye out for falsified documents.
Yes, of course. Understood.
Before you begin, summon Alaris at once. I have new orders for the Knights as well.
As you wish, Your Grace.
If I am correct, we haven't a moment to lose. Another tragedy is soon to transpire.
That crumbly old chapel somewhere nearby, or what?
I can play a little part here, save perhaps as a bargaining chip for our dear Elfric.
Getting yourself captured instead? That wouldn't be good at all, Constance.
I think we should be more worried about B's appearance. I mean, he's got way more, life experience than the rest of us. And all that life experience makes you look more like a knight than a student, B.
You saying I'm old, pal? Don't forget, you're speaking to the ageless king of grappling.
She's not wrong, Balti. There's a pretty big age gap between you two.
You're friends with Hilda's older brother, right? That explains your maturity. You make Hubert look like a spring chicken.
Can it, will ya? Anyway, I'm wearing a school uniform. No way in hell they'll think I'm a knight.
Yeah, and anyone wearing a school uniform is without a doubt a student.
To be honest, for a good while, I actually did think you might be a knight. Who made your uniforms and set up the Ashen Wolf House, anyhow?
If I might so humbly interject, that would be Elfric.
He pulled everything together for us, sometime after he was appointed as the Guardian of Abyss. Said he wanted to give former students who were expelled from the Academy somewhere to live, somewhere to belong. Of course, all of this was established long before any of us were in the picture.
It does. Whatever his aims, it seems he has quite a few noble qualities.
All I know is that he helped me, so I'll help him.
I strongly doubt that I shall factor into Elfric's retrieval, but I shall follow your lead.
There it is. We owe Elfric. Maybe your goddess doesn't care about debts, but my fists and I sure do.
Sorry to have roped you into all of this, friend.
What a pal! The Ashen Wolves really landed an A+ professor. Not just on paper, but in practice too. This is great! Has me ready to get to it and start hitting things.
How cheeky. Me? Never. Although, ever since I was a kid, I've lived my life by one rule. That I'd only play my hand if I was guaranteed victory. I've gotten this far by using my cunning in any way necessary. Lying, cheating, even killing when there was no other way. But this next play? Well, the odds don't exactly seem to be in my favor. Not unless you trust me enough to provide me with an ace. Never you mind, friend. Let's just go.
At last you've arrived. You certainly took your sweet time.
My flock, why have you come?
Save you, of course. You didn't really think we'd just up and abandon you, did you?
If I may be so bold, we have the chalice you seek. Might I humbly request that you return Elfric?
You found the chalice? When I told you of it, I never imagined you'd...
Let's make sure it's not some cheap imitation. Hand it over.
Not until you hand over the hostage. There needs to be some degree of a trusting exchange here.
I can see you don't understand your own predicament. We've no issue killing the lot of you and taking it either way.
I can't tell if this guy's ears are stuffed with wool or if he's just this stupid.
Can't say I'm surprised. Thugs like this aren't about to show us any gesture of sincerity.
Yuri, stand down. Leave me. Take the chalice and flee. You must. It is irreplaceable. You must not hand it to these brigands.
You know us better than that. We didn't come here without a plan. Do your thing, Happy.
Wait, do what thing?
Seriously? Right now?
Now, Happy!
Fine, fine, fine.
Her sigh. She...
I've gotta say, that sigh of hers never gets old.
Yeah, glad you like the show. It's not like it's a gift I asked for.
Where did that thing come from?
Absolute cowards. How entertaining. Balthus, will you do the honors?
Leave it to me, boss. I got... Damn!
Hey, Balthus, quit screwing around. Oh. Wow. Flew off of them. I'll sort it out. At least we got Elfric back in one piece. Now to handle these fools.
Cheap party tricks! Let's make these children scream!
Yuri! You damn scoundrel, what are you doing?
I think you can see what I'm doing, Balthus.
Beautifully executed, Yuri. The chalice is finally mine now, along with the blood of the four apostles.
It seems I was correct. That there was an enemy in our midst. To think our bird was instead a rat.
You've always had a wild imagination, Constance. I've got to say, turning your attention elsewhere was a challenge, even for me.
That is enough for the banter, Yuri. I informed you not to divulge too much.
They'll all be under the dirt soon enough. It's not like they'll be able to talk at that point. After all I've gone and done for you, Elfric, I would think you'd have just a bit more faith in me. Your silence speaks volumes. Guess this is the end of the niceties. It's all on you now, friend. I'm sure you and the others will figure it out.
Professor! Are you injured?
Impossible. Surely you suffered a wound.
Teach, there's no time for playing around. Tell us how... I get it. He only pretended to attack you, didn't he? So you were just playing a part in this grand performance. But was that really the smartest decision here?
The chalice and the Ashen Wolves are gone. I am loath to think what will become of them without our help.
And how do you propose we pursue them? We haven't a clue where they went.
Well, we know what they're after. That at least narrows down the possibilities.
Professor, are we too late?
Lady Rhea, why have you come?
After sending all of you off, I began to investigate the lineage of the Ashen Wolves. In doing so, I was able to confirm that the documented information about their crests was falsified. What was once a wild speculation, I now know to be true. The crests they bear are the same as those of the four apostles, the very same who long ago enacted the Rite of Rising. Once the blood of the four is poured upon the chalice, its power can be harnessed. I believe we have enough evidence to assume that our Ashen Wolves will suffice to carry out this ritual.
So, Elfric's aim must be to carry out the Rite of Rising at the expense of the students. Lady Rhea, what precisely is the purpose of this ritual?
We've heard it has the power to resurrect life, but that can't be true, can it?
The chalice is a holy artifact, created by the goddess herself. It serves to restore a physical form that was previously lost to this world.
So those wild tales are true. It really can bring someone back to life.
Not exactly. It can breathe life into a body, but it cannot return a spirit that has already departed. Ultimately, it is a tool to return the goddess to her physical form. Her spirit is omnipresent, but her flesh is no more. Such incredible power is truly awe-inspiring and extremely dangerous. In that way, it is akin to the hero's relics. For this reason, the four apostles were never intended to pass down their crests. This gathering should never have been possible. The Ashen Wolves are now gathered together, making it possible once more.
And Elfric is at the center of this mess, luring them all to Abyss for his own selfish reasons. Without so much as a whisper of it to the church, of course.
This incident is my own doing. I never should have entrusted the chalice to them.
Lady Rhea, do you have any idea where they could have gone?
I do indeed. Garreg Mach, which is protected by the goddess, is the only place the Rite of Rising can be performed. Holding such a ritual requires absolute focus, so I imagine the setting would need to be serene, peaceful.
There are countless such places within the monastery walls.
It's certainly peaceful there, but due to last month's incident, it's heavily guarded at present.
For now, let us return to the monastery. There is much to consider.
Lady Rhea!
You look troubled, Alois. What has happened?
Thieves have breached Garreg Mach's village walls. They've been pillaging the shops and residences, taking whatever they please.
I wonder if this has anything to do with Elfric.
There's no telling, but for now, their numbers are too great. They need the knights. By your will, Lady Rhea, allow us to clear the village of these hooligans.
Yes, Alois. Please ensure the safety of the villagers immediately. However, leave a few of your best knights here with me.
Yes, Your Grace. I'll see to it.
Teach? You look like you've got something to say. He told you to meet up with him at the Holy Mausoleum? You never run out of secrets, do you, Teach?
I'm certain that Yuri had his reasons for setting up this meeting. He took the time to speak with you, however cryptically, before he left.
Fair point, Dimitri. I do wonder why he told you it needed to be after midnight. Wouldn't it be better to rush to their aid immediately?
Yuri's no fool. There's a method to his madness.
Where the heck are we?
Finally, you're all awake. Good morning, sleepyheads. Or is it a good evening?
Yuri! You scoundrel! You are unfit to speak to us, liar that you are!
Yeah, liar, blah blah. Nothing I haven't heard before.
Look, pal, enough beating around the bush. What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? Where's Elfric, and what the hell are you plotting?
Questions. You're wearing me out, Balthus. Fine then. I'll lay it out for you. Elfric intends to reenact the Rite of Rising. He's preparing everything as we speak.
What is this silly rite anyway? You trying to do some crazy magic to raise the dead or something?
Actually, yes. By offering up the blood of the four apostles in the chalice, you can bring someone back to life. Saint Saros performed the ritual 995 years ago, but not enough blood was given up. So the ritual was a bust. No clue what happened after that. That's what Elfric concluded after scouring the records anyway. And now, through extreme persistence, he's found and gathered the four of us, with our crests. He placed us under his direct supervision within the Ashen Wolf House, and he did all of it to ensure a successful ritual. The Rite of Rising.
You mean to say that he intends to drain our blood? To kill us? Such an act would be unforgivable, an atrocity! I cannot die in this wretched hovel!
Yeah, that sounds painful. And permanent. Count me out. Hang on. The number 4 includes you too, right? So you're gonna die too?
Yep, that's the idea.
And here I thought we were close. But all this time you've been skulking around, deceiving us. It hurts, boss. Hurts bad. You want to die, that it? Fine. I'll kill you myself. Just stop that crafty nonsense of yours and face me, fist to fist.
Shut it. I've lived through hell and worse. After climbing my way here, you really think I want to die?
Then why throw your life away for the likes of Elfric?
Some things are more important than my own life. Some things are worth protecting.
You're not making any damned sense.
It would seem that you want to be punished severely, Yuri.
That's some sort of threat? There's not much you can do to me that hasn't already been done.
True. You took wing from the mud into which you were born, and rose to such great heights. To break your spirit would take far too much effort. Though, if I must, I will kill your mother, in addition to your dear people.
Oh, so that's it. You were trying to protect your mom.
Precisely, what is it you are hoping to accomplish, Elfric?
To resurrect someone I lost long ago, no matter the cost. Surely there are those for whom you'd do similar.
Perhaps. Even so, never would we annihilate those we care for.
There's nothing I wouldn't do. Nobody I wouldn't trade to see the light in her eyes once more.
Whoa. That lady looks real dead, pal.
She is. For now.
You're gonna regret this, Elfric.
I accepted the regret I might feel from this long ago. As long as she returns, nothing else matters. Yuri, if you think you'll be pulling anything funny, think again. The Knights of Seros won't save you. No doubt they're indisposed right now on some mission or other.
Well, that's a damn shame. The whole evil villain look really doesn't suit someone as pious as you, Elfric.
Yuri Bird, I could...
Not yet.
It is time. Take them. Your blood will pour forth, filling the chalice.
You really are a fool.
You were diligent, Yuri. You kept me abreast of all the Ashen Wolves' movements. As recompense for being such a good student of my flock, I will gladly hear any final words from you.
That's fresh. If you knew me at all, you'd know these won't be my final words. I'm simply biding my time.
For what?
For the goddess's descent. Can you hear it? She's coming.
Bells? This late at night?
Yeah, you hear that, Elfric? That's the sound of your demise. The Knights are releasing my people as we speak. The ones you locked up and hid away.
How did you know about that? Wait, the Knights of Seros?
Like I said, the evil villain look really doesn't suit you. I know it was you who sent me on that mission, that ultimately led to me landing in Abyss. Overall, your execution was lacking. Lady Rhea has been on to you as well. Oh, and just so you know, I've been working for her since before I ever began working for you. She had me keeping an eye on you. Told me to inform her if you seemed to be planning anything.
You!
But you took those I care most about hostage, which limited my options. You chained up the wolves, and kept a tight grip on my rogues in Abyss to ensure I wouldn't betray you. I struggled with whether or not to tell her everything. After all, my allies' lives were on the line. I deliberated on what to do next. knowing I'd have to rely on my own cunning to see this through. I waited for the chance I could rescue my mother and allies, all while paying lip service to you. Until today, the day you pulled all your forces in so you could attempt this ritual. You're no villain, with that sticky conscience you call a heart tripping you up. Not like me.
I see. You were one step ahead of me all this time. It matters not. The ritual has begun. There's no stopping it now. You will all die. Just a bit longer.
Don't think for a moment.
But you're getting off easy, pal! Seriously, boss, did you have to tie us up so tightly?
Sorry, Bothus. I figured those little tears would be enough for you to break through the rope.
I may be the unbeatable king of grappling, but I'm also bleeding profusely. You didn't wonder why it was taking me so long? Think next time, yeah?
I haven't the slightest what you two are jabbering on about, but please untie our ropes as well.
You're talking. Do it yourself. I dispelled the silence from you ages ago. Or hadn't you noticed?
Oh, I see.
It's great that we're not tied up anymore and all that, but we're still being actively drained.
I've invested everything to ensure my success today. My private funds. A veritable army. Surround them. Don't let them escape. The ritual will not be stopped.
Why won't it cease? We are freed, and yet our blood still drains from us?
Well, this wasn't part of the plan.
This is no laughing matter. Our very lives are ebbing away.
Stop panicking, Constance. You know I'm never unprepared.
You've always got a trick up your sleeve, don't you? I can hear your secret plan running our way.
Professor, you would raise your sword against me? Your mother lies here, waiting for us, waiting for you. Don't you want her back?
Teach, is that true, or is he just trying to freak us out? If so, it's kind of working.
There is no room for doubt. I know her appearance better than anyone. This is her. An upstanding nun who married Gerald. She died 21 long years ago.
You cannot expect us to believe that someone who died 2 decades ago is still in such pristine condition.
Incredible, isn't it? It's as though she remains untouched, even after all these years. Perhaps her body differs from others. Beautiful, ageless, perfectly preserved by some secret only she knows. Whatever the case may be, it is strange, is it not? It's been 10 long years since I found her. I came across her body, frozen in time, deep underground. I have worked tirelessly to solve the riddle of her death and bring her back to life.
Halt, Elfric.
Rhea. You are the cause of this. It was you who killed her when she gave birth to a child who made no sound. Tell me what you've done to her. Why does her body remain while her spirit does not?
I owe you no words on the matter. But I will tell you this. She made the choice to die, that her offspring might live. I respected her will, nothing more. Elfric, just as I viewed her, so do I view you. You are as my own child. Please, cease this futility.
Oh! You expect that I should believe you without question. You see her lying here before you, and yet you owe no words. Rhea, I am finished with you. The only thing that remains to be done is to complete the ritual.
Hurry. He cannot have gone far.
Yes, we must stop him at once. Let's figure out where he disappeared to.
What about you four? You don't look like you're up for much of anything right now.
It'll take a lot more than that to stop me. If anything, I feel speedier with less blood weighing me down.
Probably for the best that he trained us. Otherwise our blood would be boiling.
Ugh, speak for yourselves. I feel atrocious. We must end this, and swiftly.
Count me in.
Then we're all on the same page. But first things first. Let me see that pretty face of yours, boss.
Hmm?
Why the hell didn't you tell us?
Sorry I had to use you all, but there wasn't much choice. Someone would have died for sure otherwise. It could have been any of you. It could have been one of my rogues. Someone from Abyss. Who knows?
You imply that you didn't trust us enough. I am incensed by you, Yuri.
Use me or don't, but it would have been nice if you'd asked us first.
Look, I get it. Your people were being held hostage. You were between a rock and a hard place. But I thought we were pals. Buddies till the end.
I need you. All of you. I've been a fool. Thank you for always being here for me. Even now.
Alright, I think this fool gets the picture. Time to find that other fool and take him down. You'll help with that, yeah?
I love the lip on this one. Let's do this, wolves.
To me, growing up in the shelter of the monastery, she was my world. All of the memories I hold of her, learning, growing, walking hand in hand, she left me in awe. If that's what makes her happy, then I will watch her walk away with warmth in my heart. If that is truly what will make her happy, surely he will make her smile. That's all I wanted for her. To Citri, confined within the monastery walls, he was her world. I saw the way her eyes glimmered when they spoke, and her otherworldly smile when they became engaged. The look on her face when she told me how happy she was to bear his child. It was enough for me to see her happiness, to witness it from a distance. She breathed her last 21 long years ago. I have never forgotten. She died before she could see the face of the child whom she had so lovingly nurtured. The funeral was a solemn affair. We gathered in the graveyard, said our farewells, and watched as her casket was lowered into the soil. That was the end of her story. Or so I thought, until 10 years ago, when I found her. Her remains, hidden deep within Abyss. She looked as beautiful as ever.
Elfric, cease this at once!
It is too late. The chalice is filled to its brim with the blood of the Four. Should their blood prove insufficient, I will spill even my own blood to finish this.
The chalice cannot return her soul, Elfric. It is incapable even of returning the body to life.
Be not afraid. Today your mother returns to us. The time has come. Perhaps I am not an equal man to him, but I am here by your side, Citri. Citri. Citri.
The chalice. It absorbed both of them.
An aberration. What is it? An umbral beast?
So I see. It is just as the last time the ritual was performed.
Is this really happening? Elfric turned into that thing?
Ugh, it does seem like some kind of sick joke.
So this is the Rite of Rising? Quite the dangerous ritual, if you ask me.
Lady Rhea, monsters have appeared at the cathedral. Could it be? Perhaps his roar drew them there. Everyone who is capable must fight this beast, now.
Archbishop Rhea. Things ended up this way because of me. Please allow me to make up for it.
Yuri.
It'll give me a chance to hold up my end of the deal. Let me fight for the church.
So very like you to steal the glory in the heat of the moment. Elfric used us. He lied to us and attempted to slay us. Despite that, he provided shelter when I had none. We must end things swiftly, for his sake.
He's never going to be normal again, is he? For all those years, he tried to make this happen. Bring her back, only to lose himself. It's pretty awful.
He made his choice. All we can do is accept it. Let's do all of us a favor and take him out real quick like, yeah?
We'll help too. Together we stand, together we fall.
Yes, you can rely on us until the very end.
Time to lower the curtain on this unfortunate tale.
Please act swiftly, but with great care. By my order, stop the Umbral Beast. Stop Elfric. It is finished. Well done, everyone. Because of you, her restless soul has finally found peace. Professor, I imagine you have much on your mind. I was there the day she brought you forth into this world. Citri had always been frail. Giving birth proved to be too much for her in the end. On that fated day, it looked as though neither of you would survive. In those final moments, she spoke, saying, "My heart, give it to my child." That is correct. The heart that lies within your chest is none other than hers. It was the only way that you could be saved. But Citri loved others, much as a human might, and I loved her in return. Citri looked upon me as though I was her mother, and I wished for her to have a bright future. I would not have her buried in the cold, dark soil. Prior to her funeral, I arranged for a fake burial. Afterward, I brought her body to Abyss, where I would sometimes visit her. I never thought that anyone, especially Elfric, would find her. I did not expect for such a tragedy to ensue.
Boss, there's something you gotta tell me. Was Elfric really just using us all that time?
How should I know? I mean, he always acted that way around me, like we were a means to an end. But the church records indicate he founded the Ashen Wolf House 15 years ago. He mentioned he found Citri 10 years ago. So it seems he really did mean well, at first.
What's done is done. He's gone, and we're here. That's what matters now.
You're always so quick to adapt to change, Happy. I should follow your example.
Yeah, you always get to the heart of things quickly. Right then, I've got a lot to take care of now. I need to fill the church in on all the details about how things actually played out. And with my people freed from the monastery prison, they'll need to be accounted for.
Good luck with that whole mess. I'll be rooting for you from afar.
Surely you'll let us know if there is any way at all we can help. We'd be just thrilled.
Hell, if you want, your people can be my people. I could use some good mercenaries to watch my back.
Enough already. I get it.
It's no less than you deserve.
What you have sown, now you shall reap.
You made your bed, now shut up about it, pal.
Anyway, what do you figure will happen to Abyss? The church will want to step in, no doubt.
You got me. After everything that's happened, things can't stay the same. The church will probably assign an official to oversee things. Hopefully whoever they choose knows how to get along with Abyssians well.
Let's worry about all that some other time, yeah? I could really use a tall drink and a long sleep.
I'm with you. I hurt in places I didn't even know could hurt.
It has been a terribly long night indeed. One I won't ever forget.
A terribly long night, but a beautiful morning.
You mean to say that you are disbanding us?
Yes. After speaking with the Cardinals, my decision is final. The Ashen Wolf House was originally established for youths who are in need of the Church's protection. Somewhere along the way, that intent was corrupted, and it ultimately became a cage for you. The Ashen Wolves are officially disbanded. You can consider this a graduation of sorts.
You can doll this up by calling it graduating, but you're the one who sent me to Abyss to begin with. Now you waltz in here and tell us to just go live our lives as if none of this ever happened?
You may continue living in Abyss, of course. Abyss will always be a refuge for those who need it most. Your chains have been unbound. You are free to live as you wish now.
You ask me, this feels like good timing. This sounds pretty alright, Rhea.
After all I have been through, I must say I feel immense gratitude at the prospect of living freely.
You're just going to let me go? While I was working with the church, I still did some unsavory things.
You have already been judged for your transgressions, Yuri. You have slain the undeserving. The weight of that is yours to bear. You have time to contemplate your actions now. That is punishment enough.
What's with the woe is me act? She's saying you're a free man.
True enough. It's up to me to determine how I'll live my life now. How I'll make up for what I've done.
You made up your mind quickly, despite having ample time to think it through.
Someone of my many talents must make decisions in short order. I'm in high demand after all. The Ferdiad Royal School of Sorcery demands my presence post-haste. How could I deny them? Soon, the name Nouvelle shall be renowned all throughout the Imperial capital. Prepare yourselves.
Didn't you already attend that school? Leaving and going back seems... well, good luck with that.
Maybe I'll try to see my family again. It's been forever, but now seems like as good a time as any to do that. The whole thing might be a drag though, so maybe I'll come straight back to Abyss.
I think yeah. Yep. I'll find a way to hit it big. Make tons of money. It's about time the indebted king of grappling finally paid down all those damn debts.
You could always ask my brother to help you out. Seems like a good way to go, really.
Borrow from Holst? That's a hard no. Wouldn't dare to trouble my best pal like that. That's enough about me. What are you going to do now, boss?
Who knows? For now, I'll take some time to think. My main concern at this point is taking care of my people back in my hometown.
You mean you'll continue your former line of work?
No need to beat around the bush. And yeah, that's the plan. It's what I'm best at. But I can approach things differently now. Change how I live. Find ways to thrive in peace, you know?
Makes sense to me. I wish you all the best.
Thanks, friend. Right back at you. We both deserve to live our lives freely. I may end up back home after all this, but I worry about how my rogues here would fare without a boss.
Always worrying about everyone but yourself. Stop with that already, yeah?
There you go, being cute again. Though I'm certain if you're around, Abyss and everyone in it will be just fine.
We'll keep an eye on Abyss as well. Isn't that right, you two?
Absolutely. That place is a treasure trove of secrets. Just try to keep me away.
I trust your motives are not all so selfish, Claude. And yes, we promise to protect Abyss in your absence.
Boss! Boss! You can't just leave us high and dry like this! Where will we go? What will we do?
I should have known. Humans are adaptable creatures. He'll sort it out just fine.
Relax, will ya? We all know Yuri's not the type to abandon his pals. He's a guy who always turns up when he's needed. Well, we should all be taking notes from him.
The world's a dreary place. We could all use a little help now and again.
As long as we're all here for each other as true friends, we can live our lives to the fullest. You heard me. You're all my friends. You matter. You always will.
That seems like a good note to end on.
Sure does. Catch you later, pals. I mean, friends.
With that, I bid you farewell.
And so it is. Until next time, friend.